Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to a showbiz legend, and one of my favourite people here at Peter Pan at Derby Arena has just come off stage as the delicious Auntie Hilda in Peter Pan, and this really is a glorious show. Morgan, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much for coming.
Being a bit chunky does help with being a dame, doesn't it?
I think there's something about an avuncular lady of a certain age that, you know, when at 34, when you're blessed with a body like this, I've got to go straight for those middle-aged lady roles. It's where my casting is. You know?
I think you are one of the warmest dames I've ever seen, and I wonder how you create that. Is it just because that's you?
I mean, are you asking if at heart I'm a desperately sinister and... No, I think for me that's the joy of Panto, that people come to see us and I want them to leave with a bit of Christmas, and it's however you get that.
Your love keeps lifting me, love keeps lifting me higher and higher.
The audience are spending their hard-earned cash coming to see us, and I think even though we're not a full-time round-the-year theatre, I want them to come and feel like they're getting the production value that you'd expect of a larger city venue. One of the perks of it not being a conventional theatre, I think, is that we can rig things and do things that you maybe can't do in a Grade 2 listed Victorian Frank Matcham theatre. So we've got stuff cracking off all over the place, and that's part of the excitement of the arena style of the show, is that we can bring it off the stage and really kind of connect with the audience.
How did you become so good at the script and the storytelling? Because to match the two is tricky with Panto. It can either become long and laborious or it's hysterical. Matching the two is very difficult because it's a fine art, isn't it?
Yeah, I think because I trained as an actor, so the story is something that matters to me. I think, you know, some people come at Panto from a variety aspect, and that's important and that's a huge part of it. But for me, when we're telling a story, that's what matters, and then I just look to shoehorn in as many jokes as possible. So if you don't get one or you don't enjoy one gag, I want there to be another 4 coming at you in a couple of seconds, so that, you know, there's one in there for everyone. It's like the way the Americans write sitcoms, I think. And
then we add in your costumes, which are some of the best I've ever seen in the business. How do you think of them? I mean, they start off ridiculous and end up preposterous, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, gin plays a part in it, certainly. But we start quite early, so from about kind of July, I'm scribbling, and we've got a fantastic team of makers, and they, you know, they'll sort of, you know, add little embellishments, and yeah, it's a team process.
Do you spend all year worrying about this show? Because we're now in about January and you're going to put it on again next December. For the next 11 months, is this your job?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full-time... yeah, we're so all about the glitter in my household. Yeah, we've started planning Sleeping Beauty already, which is one of those kind of odd things that it's on sale and people are already buying tickets, and I feel a slight pressure at this point of the year, because technically people have just bought tickets to a poster. So the sooner I can write something or design something or start something off being built, then I feel better that we're going to really be able to hit that.
We've talked about the costumes, we've talked about the scenery. Another element to this is the sound and music. I mean, to get the sound right in a venue this big is almost impossible, and you do. And then the music you choose is so relevant for young people, because I think we've got to remember that it's all right sticking in a song from 1975, but if your audience is all under 20, you really match the two perfectly. There's a bit of Elton in there, but there's also something from the charts. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with Rocket Man, there's kind of Elton's back in vogue as well. I want there to be something in there for everyone, so I'm a bit of a sad musical theatre nerd, so we've snuck in some Sondheim. There's tiny little nods to other things in there as well. But yeah, the bulk of it has to be stuff that's going to get the kids up and kind of bouncing.
How do you get out of bed in the morning with the pressure? Because not only are you the star of this show, but you've also got everybody knocking on your door when it goes wrong and when questions need answering. There's a lot on your shoulders, and it's not just here. You're also in Loughborough as well.
Well, yeah, so I'm working on 4 shows this Christmas, which is probably not sensible for a human, but I love it. And it's no one knocks on your door in November and says, we're doing a panto now, go. You do get a year's warning. So if you've done your work, it should be okay. Touch wood.
One of the things I loved about your Dame was that ability to work the room, and you're not working off a script, although there is a script there. When something happens, you immediately react to it. Where did you learn that? Is that years of loving comedians and honing your craft? Because to see the guy on the front row is doing something to his trousers he perhaps shouldn't be, and then reacting, or the little kid screams out, it takes a great confidence, and you do with, again, such warmth.
I think, yeah, obviously you try and learn from those dames who've been doing it for forever, and I go and see as much as I can, and comedians, as you say, you pick up a lot from them. Went to go and see Ken Dodd towards the end and sort of loved that. And I'm also an only child and a show-off, which I guess probably feeds.
You've got issues, haven't you, basically?
Yeah. This is just a way of making cross-dressing tax deductible. That's all it is for me.
How much effort goes into this physically on stage? Because nobody works harder than the Dame with the costume changes. That in itself is a job, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's the only time I do any sort of exercise in a year. So, yeah, cancel the gym subscription for Christmas. I'll do a panto. But yeah, and also, the wardrobe team here are lovely, and we keep each other going, which is nice. But yeah, there's changing frocks 20 times a day is an effort, but when you walk on and they get a good reaction and the frocks are worth putting on, it makes you feel the way you need for panto, I think.
Well, I always think a Dame should get a laugh before you've even opened your mouth. Then if we're laughing when you have opened your mouth, you've really got it right, and you've mastered that. It's beautiful, isn't it? How do you think of another silly frock for next year? Because again, as you say, the anticipation we've seen this year's, which is brilliant, next year you've got to be even better.
Yeah, I like them to kind of fit with the script as well. So there's some part of the fun of writing and designing at the same time is that you can kind of go, oh, that'd be a nice idea but then I could do a whole scene that links with that. So that hopefully it feels less shoehorned because you've kind of worked from one into the other a bit more seamlessly.
Are some harder than others? I mean, Sleeping Beauty next year, is that a tougher panto to put on than, for example, Peter Pan or Cinderella? I mean, we know these two so well. Sleeping Beauty less so, or does that make it easier because you can play around with it more?
You've got a bit more license, so you can kind of play with the story as people know it and what you might do to subvert it or make it different. I think, for me, I'd never done a Peter Pan before, and what's been fun is playing around with the bits of the story that you kind of have to have because it's Peter Pan and you need those, and then the bits that for me were less important and maybe we could do something else there.
Do you care passionately that when we walk in we're blown away? Because it seems to me you notice everything. Your oversound, light, costume, acting, script. I mean, that's your job really all year to make it perfect. But you could just put a really dour cloth as we walk in and you choose to spend another 10 grand on a lit thing that looks beautiful. You are obsessive about this, aren't you?
It's a problem. But also, because it is a year's work, I want to be able, at the end of that year, to walk into whichever building one of our shows is on and feel, yeah, this is a show that I, as a paying punter, want to see. I can see that they're taking me seriously as an audience member. And I want to feel pride in what the team on stage and off stage have created for that venue. And whatever I have to do, and kind of regardless of the cost of that, that's what I get out of it, being able to feel like, yeah, we as a team have made something really special here.
And again, at the Town Hall in Loughborough, I mean, another beautiful theatre that you've made look even more beautiful. And of course, Jack's Jobbers are the talk of Loughborough. I mean, everybody's on about those, aren't they?
Well, I was taught to have tights, so...
You need a specialist to get in them, wouldn't you?
I think they have a team of 4 in a JCB, but yeah, and that's, I mean, we're so lucky that the audiences in Loughborough flock every year, and it's basically sold out now for the run. And you want to respect that, you don't want to, you need to keep the quality increasing year on year and sort of set yourself a little personal challenge really to see, okay, well, we did that before, but let's make that better. Let's do something that we haven't seen done elsewhere.
Well, I make a prediction. Some of these big theatres with these huge productions are going to fall because of people like you. The bar is higher than ever. The quality and standard of panto is fantastic. And People like you who can do everything, who work so hard and then deliver on the stage a beautiful performance too, I think are the new bar that they need to aspire to. Morgan, it's so nice seeing you. Congratulations on Peter Pan. It's here until the 4th of January, and you can see Sleeping Beauty in 2020 here at the Derby Arena. So nice to see you.
Lovely to see you too. Thank you very much, Alex.